Business intelligence projects may succeed or they might fail, but there's no question that they're going to change the expectations of organizations and their IT departments. More importantly, it raises the question, how will business intelligence change the role of the CIO? For Jeff Hutchinson, CIO at Maple Leaf Foods, business intelligence will change the CIO from being someone who's seen as just offering technical support to offering knowledge.
You talk about the role of the CIO in the future when it comes to business intelligence. And I have a colleague who years ago was very forward-thinking around business intelligence, business analytics. And the way he kind of described it to me is imagine the day where a board meeting's taking place or executive council meeting's taking place for the company. And so you're at this big round table, and you have different executives sitting around the table. And there's one chair that has a computer in front of it, and it's an empty chair. And that computer in front of it has a little cowboy hat on it. And that's your business analytics. And what the job is how does that person be able to present and drive that information forward, right? So that business intelligence, business analytics is not just the hip pocket low needs, but it's driving itself up to that top executive layer, right? CIOs for a long time have been trying to say, how do I get my seat at the table? How do I be part of the executive council? Well, if you're dealing in the bits and the bytes, and you're dealing in, okay, how well did you put in an ERP system in there? Why does that need to be at the executive table? What decision making is that helping the corporation make as it goes through? If on the other hand, you're saying, what I'm bringing there is knowledge. What I'm bringing there is intelligence. What I'm bringing to the table is information. And not just in what it is, but how do I get it there? How do I understand? How do I enable? I mean, I talked to my teams and I said, here's the ultimate test if we're doing well. When I get a phone call from one of my colleagues on the executive council who's upset with me because one of my senior folks is at my meeting and not at their meeting, I've succeeded.
Sharif Shida, IT Director at Baxter Corporation, sees business intelligence as not just a way for CIOs to give more information to the business, but to turn CIOs into real business leaders.
I think a great deal. I think the role of the CIO in maybe 5 to 10 years will be very different. And I think CIOs today have the unique opportunity to be able to see everything that goes on in the organization. There's very few functions in the company that has that vantage point to all of the business processes within the company. And my advice would be focus on two things, data quality and BI, because if you've got clean data, you're going to have a good lens through which to see what's happening in the organization. And if they focus on these two things and sponsor these two programs, then they're going to be able to connect the dots and actually be a leader in that boardroom that says, oh, by the way, if you connect what's happening in supply chain and what we're seeing in the marketing department, there's a new trend that nobody's seeing because they're not talking to one another, but you are seeing both.
Thanks for watching this episode of the CIO Canada Debate. For more information on business intelligence, please refer to the related assets below and share your comments with us and keep the debate going. For IT World Canada, I'm Shane Chick.